recently you've come under a lot of fire for what some might.
A lot of fire.
It's a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny.
My actions? I stopped a war.
They've released even more Superman footage, and buried in it are some absolutely mind-blowing Easter eggs, from secret cameos tied to Christopher Reeve's legacy to a dark Superman clone engineered in Lex Luthor's twisted lab. This is packed with deep-cut references, hidden meanings, and subtle connections to DC lore. Oh yeah, and Superman might have just invented a super cannonball attack. Let's break it all down. We're not just talking fan service here. This trailer connects directly to Superman's cinematic history, James Gunn's broader DC Universe plans, and even hints at potential villains we've never seen in live action before. The first major detail, James Gunn is heavily paying homage to the original 1978 Christopher Reeve Superman movie. You'll notice this most during the kaiju fight scene, with huge buildings, neon signage, and wait for it, a subtle but powerful cameo. That newscaster on screen, that's actually Christopher Reeve's real-life son, who is, fun fact, an actual newscaster in real life. James Gunn placed him there intentionally as a tribute to Reeve and the Donner era that inspired this entire reboot. And it doesn't stop there. Inside the Daily Planet, you can catch Simon and Schuster's grandsons. Yep, the grandsons of Superman's original creators just hanging out in the background like ordinary staffers. It's a blink and you'll miss it kind of thing, but incredibly meaningful for longtime fans. Even the way the trailer cuts to its title cards mimics the classic style of the 1978 film. James Gunn confirmed this wasn't by accident. Originally they had a working title for the movie, but he realized they could just call it Superman, since the Reeve movie was technically titled Superman the Movie. Retro vibes everywhere. Total full circle moment. One of the wildest moments in the new footage, Superman seems to invent a new attack. He launches himself from the sun, arms tucked in, like he's doing a cosmic cannonball straight into the kaiju. This might be the first time ever we've seen Superman use this kind of move, whether in the movies, TV shows, or even the comics. And that kaiju looks like it ties directly to Lex Luthor, who is rumored to have a baby kaiju. So yeah, he's probably behind it. And where did he grow it? Possibly in his pocket dimension, which we'll get to in just a second. There's a shot where Superman is trapped in a bizarre space with hundreds of cells, each containing different people. This is likely Lex Luthor's pocket dimension, a place for his twisted experiments. We also see laser beams attacking Superman from off-screen, implying he's fighting someone else with his exact powers. That someone, likely an evil Superman clone, possibly known as Ultraman in the movie. Now here's where it gets deep. Merchandise for the film shows this clone with a U on his chest, and sources refer to him as Ultraman, but not the multiversal version. Instead, this seems to be a Bizarro-inspired clone, tying back to early origins where Lex Luthor created a failed Superman clone. So we may be getting a live-action Bizarro origin story hidden inside this Ultraman arc. Some fans may be wondering if this dimension is actually the Phantom Zone, but James Gunn has made it clear in interviews that this is not that. He has been using pocket dimensions in Peacemaker already, so it seems like this is something Lex Luthor created for his own sinister experiments. The real Phantom Zone could still appear later in the DCU. And speaking of Lex Luthor, he might be suiting up in his iconic war suit. We've seen toy merchandise with him wearing one, and all the Lex Corp security in the trailer are already wearing miniaturized versions. So odds are Lex Luthor upgrades and steps into the full comic book accurate war suit by the movie's climax. He's also behind the Hammer of Boravia suit worn by the Ultraman clone. That design, definitely inspired by Nuclear Man from Superman 4 Quest for Peace, which makes total sense given the movie's deep-rooted love for the Reeve era. And then there's the Engineer. She appears in multiple fights, including one where Krypto savages her face, exposing her nanite tech. Early in the film, she looks more human-looking, but by the time of the stadium battle, she's gone full-on cybernetic rage monster. And in that same battle, we see both Mr. Terrific and Ultraman knocked out cold on the grass, which suggests that the Engineer, not Ultraman, is the real final boss of the movie. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. In the comics, the Engineer eventually joins the Authority, a team of morally grey superheroes. The actress playing her said her arc is all about choosing how far she'll go for Lex Luthor. So maybe, just maybe, there's a talk no jutsu moment where Superman convinces her to stop fighting. Maybe she becomes a future ally. It'd be a clever setup if the Authority movie ends up happening later. Let's not forget the weird little baby Joey from recent merchandise. That's Joey Mason, Metamorpho's son in the comics. If Lex Luthor is holding baby Joey hostage, it explains why Metamorpho is forced to hurt Superman, even turning himself into kryptonite. But we're told Metamorpho is a good guy, so this manipulation fits perfectly with Lex Luthor's tactics. We see Superman eventually break out of the cell and free the other prisoners, possibly relocating them to the Fortress of Solitude, which does canonically have an alien zoo. There's a great sequence where Superman storms into Lex's office, visibly furious. Lex sits calmly, taunting him, trying to provoke him into losing control, so he can paint Superman as a threat to the public. That's Lex's whole strategy, tear down Superman's image. We even hear him say in the trailer, "The world is preoccupied with him and I can't have that." This leads to Superman literally tossing Lex's desk across the room in rage, while Lex is watching everything on high-tech consoles, clearly orchestrating multiple battles from behind the scenes. Let's talk about the MVP of the trailer, Krypto. The lovable, chaotic, relatable superdog is everywhere in the footage. We see him dragging Superman to the Fortress of Solitude and even being bribed with dog treats during battle. James Gunn and David Corenswet have confirmed Krypto is actually Supergirl's dog and Superman is just dog sitting. Honestly, dog lovers are going to be obsessed with this movie. Inside the Fortress of Solitude, we get another big moment. The robots carry Superman to a sun-powered healing chair, while you hear Jor-El and Lara speaking Kryptonian. That voice of Jor-El, it might be Bradley Cooper, a frequent James Gunn collaborator and a long-time voice of Rocket Raccoon. It'd make perfect sense if Gunn gave him the pivotal role as a voice or even a hologram recording. Another clever Easter egg, the Chocos Company, which shows up in a fight scene set inside Lord Tech building, Maxwell Lord's company. Now why does that matter? Because Chocos is Martian Manhunter's favorite snack in the comics. And with Zack Snyder teasing Martian Manhunter in the Justice League Snyder Cut, this could be a subtle nod that John Jones is coming to the new DCU. Now here's where it gets really big picture. Everything we're seeing in the Superman footage isn't just about this one movie, it's laying the groundwork for James Gunn's entire new DC universe. And at the center of that, 4 major pillars: Superman, Batman, Supergirl, and Wonder Woman. Let's break down how they all connect, and how Superman is clearly the starting point for everything that's coming next. James Gunn's rebooted DC universe is kicking off with Superman front and center. That's the first of his 4 core characters, but he's already confirmed the others. Next up is Batman, not the Robert Pattinson version, that's staying in its own Elseworlds corner. The new DCU Batman will debut in The Brave and the Bold, and this will be the Batman who shows up in all major crossover events, like the rumored World's Finest movie. Yeah, Superman and Batman teaming up is absolutely on the table. Supergirl is also high on the list. She's set to headline the next big movie after Superman drops. And it's not just a spin-off, her story is meant to be darker and more cosmic, inspired by Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Then we've got Wonder Woman, a key Justice League member whose casting hasn't been announced yet. Gunn recently teased that he's saving some big news around her for a major reveal soon, so it sounds like she's next in line to be officially introduced. And there's a good chance she'll debut in a movie first rather than on TV. They even teased her silhouette briefly in the animated Creature Commandos, but didn't show her face. Why? Because the actress hasn't been cast yet. And speaking of major characters, let's talk Green Lantern. We're not just getting one, we're getting 2. James Gunn's already confirmed Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart will be headlining the new Green Lantern HBO Max series. But here's the twist. Insiders suggest that Jon Stewart will actually be the Green Lantern who joins the new Justice League roster. That's a huge departure from Zack Snyder's original lineup, but totally makes sense if Gunn is leaning more into the animated Justice League vibes, which focused heavily on Stewart over Hal. And then there's Cyborg, a fan favorite in the Snyderverse, but Gunn seems to be saving him for something else entirely. With the announcement of a live-action Teen Titans movie, it looks like Cyborg may be shifting over to that team instead. That's a smart way to reassign roles and avoid direct comparisons. Now for the wild card, The Flash. James Gunn has been suspiciously quiet about The Flash in this new DCU. But if you paid close attention to the Easter eggs in Creature Commandos, there are some strong hints that the Wally West version might become the new mainstream Flash. That would fit Gunn's approach, bringing in younger, more optimistic heroes, while older versions like Barry Allen and Hal Jordan serve as seasoned mentors. In fact, rumors suggest that Barry might still exist in the DCU as a veteran hero, just no longer the main focus. Whether we see Flash show up first in a movie or a TV series, or even just as a cameo, remains to be seen. But one thing's clear, Gunn is rebuilding this universe with intention, and Superman is the key that unlocks it all. And yeah, for a while, it seemed like Gunn might be holding off on announcing his new Batman until the Batman Part 2 finishes its theatrical run, but that reveal could be coming sooner than we think. So you're not just watching the birth of a new Superman, you're watching the foundation of the entire DCU being laid brick by brick. Every Easter egg, every cameo, every character beat in this movie, it's part of a much bigger map, from the Authority, Green Lantern, and Creature Commandos, to the Justice League reshuffle and the slow burn Wonder Woman reveal. James Gunn is playing the long game, and it all starts with this. This isn't just a Superman story, it's the first chapter in a new era of DC storytelling. So drop your favorite theories below. Who do you think the new Batman and Wonder Woman will be? And are we getting Wally West or Barry Allen? Smash that like button if you're as hyped for this reboot as I am. And be sure to subscribe for more breakdowns as this universe unfolds. More trailers, more reveals, more deep dives are coming soon. Thanks for watching, and keep your eyes on the skies. The new Justice League is forming, and Superman just cannonballed into history.